A cat walks through your neighborhood and you think you know what it's doing, but what if almost everything your cat does outside is something you've never actually noticed? For a second, it sees you. One cat stops, looks at you, slow blinks, and casually walks closer like it already knows you. Another cat instantly disappears. Up a fence, behind a wall, out of sight. Same area, same species, sometimes even the same street. Completely different behavior. So what's actually going on here? And why does your own cat sometimes act like a completely different animal the moment it steps outside? Because for a cat, the outside world isn't random at all. It's structured, calculated, and driven by instincts that are far older than domestication itself. And once you understand what they're actually doing out there, their behavior suddenly stops feeling mysterious. The first thing you need to understand is that outside is not play in a human sense. It's activation. The moment a cat steps outside, it switches into a different mode. Its senses sharpen. Its movements slow down. It starts tracking motion, scanning patterns, and reacting to tiny sounds you would never even notice. Even if nothing is caught, the process itself is rewarding. It stimulates the brain in a way indoor life rarely can. But there's another instinct that shows up in a much more subtle way, something you might have seen without realizing why. Many cats prefer drinking from moving water, like a dripping tap, a fountain, or even rainwater outside. And that's not random either. In the wild, still water can often be unsafe. It can contain bacteria or contaminants. Flowing water, on the other hand, is usually fresher and safer to drink. So over time, cats developed a natural preference for moving water. It's an instinct that quietly carries over into domestic life. That's why some cats will ignore a full bowl of water, but immediately become interested the moment it starts moving. And outside, this instinct becomes even more important. Cats will often choose water sources very carefully, sometimes walking past one spot just to drink from another that feels safer based on movement, smell, or location. So even something as simple as drinking isn't simple at all. It's another small example of how your cat is constantly making decisions based on instincts you can't see, and that leads to something many people misunderstand. What happens when they succeed? If your cat has ever brought you a mouse, a bird, or even an insect, that behavior isn't random. In the wild, mother's cats bring prey back to teach their young how to hunt. Some domestic cats extend that behavior to humans they trust, not as a gift in the way we think, but as part of a deeply rooted instinct tied to teaching and social bonding. But here's where things get even more interesting, because everything your cat does outside is based on an invisible map. Cats don't see your neighborhood the way you do. They don't think in streets or houses. They think in scent layers, memory trails, and territory signals left behind over time. Every corner, every fence, every patch of grass contains information, and your cat is constantly reading it, and there's something even more structured happening that most people never notice. Your cat isn't just moving through its territory, it's maintaining it. Outdoor cats often follow specific routes at specific times of the day, almost like a routine. They revisit the same spots, the same corners, the same objects over and over again, but they're not doing it randomly. They're checking scent markers. Cats leave scent using glands in their face, paws, and tail area. Every time they rub against something, scratch a surface, or even just walk a familiar path, they're leaving signals behind. And those signals don't last forever. So your cat comes back again and again to refresh them. In a way, your cat is quietly maintaining an invisible boundary system, making sure other cats know exactly where it has been and where it still claims space. And here's the interesting part. If another cat has passed through recently, your cat will often slow down, investigate longer, or even change its route completely. So what looks like just walking around is actually a constant negotiation between different animals, happening through scent instead of sound. That's also why they prefer fences, walls, and high places. Height gives them control. From above, they can observe movement without being exposed. avoid threats, and plan their next move before anything else even knows they're there. It's not curiosity, it's strategy. But there's something even more fascinating happening behind the scenes, something most people never realize. Cats are incredibly good at finding their way back home, even from unfamiliar places. This ability is often called homing, and while it's not fully understood, scientists believe cats use a combination of scent mapping, memory, and even sensitivity to the Earth's magnetic field to navigate. In simple terms, your cat isn't just wandering, it's constantly building and updating a mental map of its environment, connecting smells, landmarks, and directions into a system that allows it to return with surprising accuracy. And that's why some cats can travel long distances and still find their way back. But here's something even more unexpected, something a lot of cat owners never notice. When cats are outside, they often move in patterns that are almost completely silent and deliberately indirect. They don't just walk from point A to point B, they loop, pause, double back, and sometimes even freeze for long periods. This isn't random behavior, it's risk management. By avoiding predictable paths, cats reduce the chance of being tracked by other animals. By pausing and staying still, they become nearly invisible to both prey and potential threats. In other words, your cat is constantly thinking several steps ahead. And there's one more thing that completely changes how your cat behaves outside, especially when the sun goes down. Cats aren't just randomly more active at night, they're built for it. Cats are what's called crepuscular, which means they are most active during dawn and dusk, the low light moments when most prey animals are active, but visibility is limited, and this gives them a huge advantage. Their eyes are designed to pick up tiny movements in very low light, far better than humans can. So, when your cat goes outside in the evening or early morning, it's entering the environment at the exact moment it was biologically designed for. And that's when things get interesting. Because outside at night, your neighborhood becomes a completely different world. Fewer humans, less noise, more movement from small animals. Your cat suddenly has access to an environment that is quieter, but far more active in the ways that matter to it. And that's why some cats seem to disappear after dark. They're not just wandering off, they're operating at peak instinct, hunting, exploring, checking territory, and reacting to movements you would never even notice in the dark. And because they can see and hear so much more in those conditions, they move with even more confidence. So what feels like nighttime silence to you is actually one of the busiest, most information-rich moments of your cat's entire day. And this is also why your cat can feel so different outside compared to inside. Inside your home, everything is predictable. Familiar smells, familiar sounds, familiar layout. Outside, everything changes constantly. New scents appear. Other animals move through the same space. Sounds shift without warning. So even the most relaxed indoor cat can become hyper-aware outside. If it suddenly freezes, climbs higher, or changes direction, it's not confused. It's calculating. Some cats explore far, others stay close. Both are normal. It depends on confidence, experience, and how safe they feel within that invisible map. And underneath all of this, your cat is constantly balancing two worlds. Inside is safety and certainty. Outside is stimulation and information. So it's not choosing one over the other, it's switching between them based on instinct and need. And when you start to see that, something changes. Your cat isn't unpredictable. It's incredibly consistent. Just within a system you were never taught to see, it's reading signals you can't detect, tracking movement you can't hear, and navigating using layers of information that are completely invisible to you. So the next time you see a cat outside, walking a fence, stopping suddenly, or silently watching the world, remember this. It's not just wandering, it's not just exploring, and it's definitely not random. It's actively processing a complex, hidden world and responding to it with precise, instinctive logic. And somehow, it does all of this without making a sound. Thanks for watching, and next time your cat comes back home, you might start wondering not just where it went, but how much of the world it understood while it was out there. And now I'm curious, what's the strangest thing your cat has ever done outside that you still can't explain?